It's unsurprising that in a culture obsessed with looks, that men are starting to spend more time and more money on their own appearances. Now, if you just have a flick through some of the men's magazines, you'll see that there are tons of adverts, not just for Brill Cream and Old Spice, but for manly moisturisers and for things like anti-fatigue roll-on eye gels. Also, if you look at men's fitness, which its tagline is "Look Great, Feel Great," you'll also see that there are whole sections on protein shakes and supplements. In fact, it even says advanced protein meal replacement. The message is to men that you have to look good at all times and at any cost. According to a L'Oreal report from 2010, the male grooming market is worth £850 million in the UK, which means that it's been growing at 6 times the rate of the women's market since 2001. If you go down to your local supermarket, you'll see the shelves are stacked with products for men, and along with the usual suspects, razors and deodorants, are shelves for male skincare. Nowadays, keeping young and fresh isn't simply for the so-called metrosexuals, but for the everyman, and the stigma of male vanity seems to be slipping away.
Your every dream, hope, desire, here comes the mirror man. Says he's a people fan. Here comes the mirror.
But skincare is only the start of it. Many men are free to tan, wax, have facials, and in some cases wear makeup without fear of ridicule. As a result, male-only salons are growing in popularity, and they're not exclusively for the city boys. The Mashio Male Grooming Salon was set up in Leeds city centre just 3 months ago, and Gina Buckney, the salon owner, says she's had all kinds of clients coming through the doors.
It's part of what they've got to do now. I think, in the times that we're in, and the media pressure to look good, and all of the celebrity endorsements and everything, the pressure is there now for gents as well as women to really take care of their appearance. And they do spend a lot of money on themselves. The market is growing. More and more people are getting onto the fact that it isn't embarrassing anymore to go and take care of yourself or have a massage. And it's actually quite relaxing as well.
But men are not only pressured to look young and fresh, but slim and buff too. And bodies like the one shown here take an awful lot of effort to achieve. So when normal working men see these images and can't get those bodies for themselves, what happens? Well, according to recent evidence, there's a growing amount of young men being treated for eating and exercise disorders. And this is a troubling fact for those working in the health and fitness industry. Nick Wilson is a Health and Fitness Development Officer at the University of Sheffield Gym, and he says that young men in particular need to have a healthier attitude towards exercise and diet.
Across the fitness industry, it does raise its head a lot more. Eating and exercise disorders are really closely linked, and there's always been a feeling, I think, that it's always been women that have kind of suffered from these, and men have kind of suffered in silence. A little bit, but I think if you do look, there's obvious parallels that you can draw. Men tend to go the other way and want to look bigger. And with that is that there's the right way and the wrong way to exercise, and what we want to try and do is encourage people to exercise in the right way, rather than pick up a magazine and read an article in a magazine that's not necessarily wrong, but doesn't really give the detail that people need to fully understand what they need to do. And what we want to try and do is target those people and make sure they understand what they're doing and why they're doing it and how to get the best results from doing that.
Despite the recession, the number of men having cosmetic surgery is on the up. And according to the British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons, there has been a 25% increase in men going under the knife in the last 3 years. Procedures that are growing in popularity are things like the male chest reduction, which has seen a dramatic increase of 123% in the last few years. At the Riverbanks Clinic in Hertfordshire, clinic manager Lee Huggan has seen a year-on-year increase of men coming in for surgery.
It's the guy who lives down the road and has this manual job and doesn't, wants to be smoother or wants a hair transplant. It's men who have retired. It's men who've been made redundant and they want to change their appearance because they often think the job market they need to look younger or look fresher, so they will have something. So a real age range actually. I had a rhinoplasty back in 2006. The reason I had that was my mother's family were Italian, so I had that kind of classic Roman nose. So I never liked it. I was, children would sort of comment on it when I was growing up and at school. I was always quite self-conscious in terms of photographs and the way I would hold my head and profile and things like that. So I thought long and hard, probably 8 years before I decided to kind of bite the bullet and have it done. And I had it done in, as I say, 2006, and was, to me, one of the best things I ever did.
And male celebrities are more than happy to talk about what they've had done in public. Wayne Rooney is one of the most recent stars to announce having cosmetic surgery. He volunteered the details of his hair transplant on Twitter and even kept fans updated with the results. Other world-famous stars like Simon Cowell and Gordon Ramsay have reportedly had work done to keep the ageing process at bay. Some men certainly are embracing cosmetic surgery to improve their appearance, but Dr. Deirdrix, who works at the Centre for Appearance Research in Bristol, says that the so-called quick fix doesn't necessarily make people feel better in the long term.
But once somebody does get one type of cosmetic surgery, they're much more likely to go back and have more. So I think the argument, that it makes people feel better, if it makes people feel better, why are they returning again and again to have more done? Because that would suggest that they're actually unhappy with a lot of different aspects of their appearance.
The lack of body diversity in the media is, according to some campaigners, the reason why men feel they need to conform to a certain body ideal. Central YMCA is a charity working with MPs to try and address negative body image in advertisements. An all-party parliamentary group on body image has been set up, and Duncan Stevenson says it's important to remember that every body is different.
Men have different body shapes and sizes, and health comes in all shapes and sizes. What we're calling for is more body diversity in the media, because research shows that half of men feel bad about their bodies after reading men's magazines. We think education and resources are required for young people, including young men, to kind of learn more about their bodies and why they'd want to change them, and also to understand that the images that are portrayed in the media are often unrealistic and unattainable.
Another thing to think about is that we're just much more visible these days. And with social media networks, if you go out and have a good time and your friend's got a camera, the next day your picture will be posted everywhere.
Leeds has got quite a big club scene, and also it's quite large with students as well, who all do want to look good. There's a lot of competition out there, especially now with Facebook, and your pictures are up every single weekend, so people do want to look good.
L'Oreal Men Expert is a leading brand in male grooming, and their recent advertising campaigns have featured Eric Cantona, Gerard Butler and Hugh Laurie. These ruggedly handsome older men represent effortless masculinity, but does your average Joe buy into it? I went to Chesterfield Rugby Club to find out.
There's always somebody taller with more of a wit, and he's equipped to enthrall her, and her friends think he's fit, and you just can't measure up, no. You don't have a prayer, wishing that you'd made the most of her when she was there. They got engaged, no intention of a wedding.
My wife, she's always looking at magazines, all the time.
And you do not look and wish that you had that six-pack or?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I think. I wish I probably could do a bit more to make my stomach a bit less chubby. But
you got kids and a job. You can't.
Yeah, you're too busy all the time, aren't you?
Whilst it's been a long time coming, male beauty is finally becoming mainstream. Men can pamper and preen to their heart's content, but just like it is for women, the pressures to look good can also become a burden.